And we're live from the Overtime Sports Show, live from Chance and Lee's Pizzeria, 1296 Del Boulevard in Eagle Pass, Texas, 776 7656 is the number to call. It's a mouthful, man. Just like the hot dogs up there, they're on the screen. It's a mouthful. We are live from Chance and Lee's on the Overtime Sports Show. We got our special guest, of course, Grant Bibb is coming to us, and Coach Matt Flores of the Central Catholic Buttons. Yeah, that's right. For all the way from San Antonio, Coach Flores was here last night as the Central Buttons leave Eagle Pass in a non-district contest between the Eagle Pass Eagles and the Buttons from Central Catholic. They took a 9-inning marathon. Yeah, we got some extra baseball last night as they left Eagle Pass with a 5-3 victory. It was a close game. We'll talk to Coach a bit. And, of course, Coach is, of course, he is a state champion in tap. That's right, in the Catholic school tap. A year ago, they won the state championship, and we'll talk about his team and what he saw last night. Also, going to give you guys some tidbits on what happened this week. We want to thank all our great advertisers and sponsors, Dr. Hector Alvarez at Eagle Pass Dental Clinic, the A&S Industrial Services, Poncho Nevares Law Group, Mares Echo Services, and we got many, many more. And of course, Grant Bibb, Hyundai of Del Rio. Thank you once again. Coach, how are we doing tonight?
First of all, thanks for having me. We're doing good here, live San Antonio.
Live from San Antonio, and I see the background. That's right off of 410, right? Your little complex right off of 410 and 35.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a nice little setup here off of 410. Yeah, we got a nice setup, man, here in town.
And sorry about that. I was kind of still listening to. But what was that? What was that song?
That was Toto.
Oh yeah,
hold the line, Toto. Yep.
Coach, it was a 9-inning game last night. Of course, we want to congratulate you on a great victory last night. But it was a close game. You guys got on the board in the first inning, getting Herrera and McClendon on, and bringing the two RBI double or triple, excuse me, to right field was Garrett Tyser. And tell us a little bit about McClendon and how you saw him last night.
Well, he's been good for us all year. The arms that we threw against Eagle Pass last night were, I would say, our top 3 arms in the rotation. But Matt's been good for us all year. He goes about 5-6 innings, and we usually go to JD, the guy who closed the game, about the 6th and 7th inning. But I was very happy with the performance Matt gave us yesterday, and going into the game, we know it's going to be tough. I tell the guys it's going to be tough down there. The environment's going to be hectic and fun and loud, and everybody's excited to play a baseball game down there. And you saw that the last couple innings. It was a good game. It ended up being a good game. So
yeah, of course the Eagles came in the 6th, kind of got one run on the board in the 6th, and of course tied up the ball game in the 7th, in the bottom of the 7th, as McClendon kind of actually it was Garcia who got into trouble there in that 7th. As he came in the 7th, he walked the runner Kiporos, the leadoff runner in the inning, and then Mayen flew out to the second baseman, and then the RBI triple from Salinas, who again, was the wind a factor last night, Coach? Because it was blowing about 25 miles an hour, and it was going towards right field. Most of the balls that were hit into the gap, carried a little bit.
Right. No, it was a tough conditions yesterday. We had the wind blowing kind of crosswind, and for that particular play, we want no doubles, right? We have 3-1 lead. We want no doubles. Stay on your feet, kind of type deal in the outfield. And unfortunately, our center fielder dove for a ball and almost made a really good play, but missed it. And that's how they scored their second run, and that's how they had a chance to tie it there in the 7th.
Yeah, of course. After Salinas got to third, there was an RBI Well, actually, there was a buck called where Salinas came in, and then Demasi, their catcher, who the day before had hit a grand slam
Right.
in that game against Davenport. Um, and then you had the young freshman Alex Reese, who went 2 for 2 last night, or 2 for 3, excuse me, because he struck out in the ninth, excuse me. But what was said, Coach? I know that you had an exit in the seventh, but
Right.
what as far as when you exited, what did you tell your assistant coaches and knowing that you had to go take care of some bus duties?
Yeah. No, I basically told the guys, staying there. We kind of talked about it, on the days leading up to the game in Eagle Pass. It was going to be hard. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a grind, and just like you guys did, y'all fought to the end, like you guys always do. And basically told my guys, hang in there and keep fighting. And we faced a little adversity there in the last, I guess the last 2 innings, really in the seventh. And I was proud of my guys. I mean, it's not easy to win down in
Yeah,
Eagle Pass, baby. I've been to many games, and Coach Mendoza is an excellent coach, and always puts his guys in the right situations to win, and just happy that we got him yesterday and had a good bus ride back to San Antonio.
yeah, Coach. And with McLennan, as far as him starting the game, he got into a groove. The first inning went 3 up, 3 down. Second inning went 3 up, 3 down. He did have a little bit of trouble there in the third. He did give up a triple there to Ethan Rodriguez, and then of course in the fourth he got back into the groove of things. Was able to get in and out of that inning too. In the fifth, 3 up, 3 down. It was until the sixth that he kind of got into trouble.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those deals where, I mean, the Eagles aren't easy outs, man. I mean, they were,
Yeah,
they were competing at the plate. I mean, they were fighting. You get 2 strikes, and they battle, foul ball, and you know, that was hats off to that ball club over there, and how they battle at the plate.
yeah. Coach, going into the ninth, and you guys played some small ball. Also got a walk, got a bunt down for a hit. There was miscommunication there between first and the pitcher, and was able to get on. You got the leadoff batter on Ramirez, and then got Ramos in on that, and then Obi, of course, Obi Martinez is a former Eagle Pass Eagle, and he's over there with you. But he got hit by a pitch, and then it started unraveling there in the ninth. Of course, you had a sac fly, another sac fly to bring those 2 plates in for Soto, who was your courtesy runner, I believe, for your catcher,
Yeah.
and Ramos came in on those 2 sac flies. So you were able to get some insurance runs there in the ninth.
Right. I mean, that's something that we try to do here in our program is, we play small ball when we can, and we try to execute early on the game, and, kind of popped up the bunt. We weren't getting the bunt down. It was a tough day to hit yesterday with the wind kind of blowing crosswind, and, it's a tough day to hit in days like that. So we knew going in that we were going to have to try to, manufacture a couple runs. We knew we had one of our better arms on the mound. So, we felt good with the 3-0 lead going into the sixth, and 3-1 lead going to the seventh. And then, for the ninth, when we got, we knew once we got those guys on, we were going to try to get the guy on second with less than 2 outs and hopefully come up with a big hit. And, luckily we got bases loaded, no outs, I believe it was, and we got 2 sac flies, but still, you don't know. You need to have like a 5-run lead in Eagle Pass, baby. So yeah, we got the win, man.
We got Grant Bibb from Hyundai of Del Rio. Make sure you call him up. 776-0815 is the number to call, or call him there at the office, 422-3900. Grant, what were your thoughts about last night's game, man?
Can you hear me, or am I muted?
No, you're good.
You're good.
Man, honestly, I can't even say, man, I didn't watch or hear. This is the first I've heard of it, so I don't know. I normally they play Tuesdays and Fridays, right?
Yeah.
back in district. So what? It's a Wednesday, Friday game. Is that what they're doing?
Well, they for spring break they actually played non-district games, which was Davenport on Tuesday, and then they had the Wednesday game against the Central Catholic Buttons against Coach Flores.
No, man, I didn't see. I just heard what the coach was saying about it. So I mean, he went to Eagle Pass and left with a win. That's good. That's good coaching, man.
That's good enough for me, baby.
Anytime you're with Eagle Pass and you win, man, thumbs up, dude. So kudos to you, coach. I mean, you know what? It's look. I always say in this game, it's a race of 21. You got to get 21 outs.
That's what it is.
If you get them before they do, chances are you're going to win. And the 21 out, the 21st out is always the hard, and especially against the Eagles because they have a no quit attitude. They got great coaching and the pedigree, and they starts when they're 5-6 years old and all these family teams. So kudos to you for going there getting the win. So great job on that because it ain't easy.
No, it ain't easy. No, we try to play those guys every year, and the last time I believe we played there, Moby got the game-winning hit. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then last year, I think we played them twice. I think we split. So, we try to play them, twice a year because, I mean, that's what you want, in your schedule. You want to play the best competition possible to get you guys you ready for district in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're always looking.
Sometimes this game in March, you might think they don't mean nothing in April or May when you get the playoffs, but the experience.
Yep.
You guys get now. Somehow in the back would really, hey, we're in this situation. Hey, guys, you can. And what if you meet each other in the playoffs? Well, we beat them. Now, hey, guys, we beat them. We can beat them again. So that's the thing where even though it's March, it'll pay dividends because, again, it's easy to beat someone 9-1 or 13-2 and you're playing down to the level. When you're playing against Eagle Pass, you're going to get the best. So, again, that's very good, even though it's March. But building your program and say, okay, guys, and it's okay if you lose to a good team, but you're playing up, which is good. Because, I don't know in your district who you play, but sometimes you're like, man, this team is tricky. But kudos to you for that. But it's good for the program to play good competition early and kind of get you ready for district play on top of that when it comes down to that.
Yes, sir.
Chancey doesn't want to come in. Javi doesn't want to come in. Of course, our producer's producing the show. So that's why I said, you know what? We got to be at Chance and Lee's every Thursday. It's from 6 to 7. So what better yet to just make a phone call and of course with the game last night, it was a game that people were intrigued with the matchup and the fact of the matter that it went 9 innings. I mean, you're talking about a Wednesday night game that started at 5:30 and then it closed at 8:30 at night. But it was great baseball, and as we call it in the broadcasting business, it was extra baseball and free baseball. Just to give you guys some local sports news, the Mavericks went up to Southwest on Tuesday. We caught that game on Tuesday as the Southwest Dragons were able to, and that's a clip of last night's game between the Central Catholic Buttons and the Eagle Pass Eagles, as we broadcasted last night. The Mavericks went over to Southwest. They lost 6-5. It was a great game. Also in that game, they Coach Royce has them at 3-3 at 500 right now in district play in District 28 5A. For the Eagles, they lost on Tuesday, a heartbreaking loss. It was 10-9 in Davenport against the Wolves. And then, of course, they come back at home. And Coach, what do you think the travel did anything to them as far as the travel going to Davenport? Because it's not close by. Davenport is in the hill country area type of thing. It's off of 1604. It's over there nestled. So, I mean, do you think that was kind of played into it where they had to travel when they came back home?
Well, it's always tough getting off a bus and trying to play 7 innings against a good competitive team. And Reynaud does a good job of scheduling some competitive teams. And you're not getting off the bus and playing a JV team. You're playing, a top-ranked team in Davenport. And same with us going down. You're in a bus for, 2.5 hours. You're trying to sleep. You're eating a sandwich on the bus. And, it's not easy for sure. So, we try to get these guys as mentally prepared as we can. But again, they're high school kids, so they probably didn't sleep the night before. They had homework, and then we're going to get on the bus. And so it is a lot.
Yeah.
But you know, there's no excuse for it, right? Because everybody kind of does it.
Yeah. Everybody does it, right? Wait a minute, Coach. What is a button? Well, we talked about that. The
Right.
button is a baby rattlesnake. Of course, we did send it out, while the game was on, and we were talking about what a button was. Nobody kind of, and then finally they did. My The gentleman that was doing my color commentating was telling me that it's a baby rattlesnake. Of course, the St. Mary's Rattlers. Um, are the sister school for the Central Catholic Buttons. So it's St. Mary's and Central Catholic are Rattlers
Yeah,
Buttons.
there you go. Yeah, not a button for your shirt, but
Yeah, not the button for your shirt.
but a baby rattlesnake.
And we had a game today, Lady Eagles at 2:00. So I broadcast it live today, and then now I have the show. So we had a game at 2:00, 18-3 as the Lady Eagles continue their unbeaten streak. They're undefeated in District 36A as they took care of the Queens of Del Rio 18-3, 15-run Mercy Roll. And then tomorrow we'll be in San Antonio, Coach. We're gonna be broadcasting the Clemens Buffaloes soccer team versus the Eagle Pass Eagles soccer. The last time that they were in the playoffs was back in 2005. So 20 years ago was the last time and the head coach was a player, Ray Reese. So congratulations to him and to the team. But we're going to be broadcasting that game tomorrow. So make sure you catch us live on Now You Know Sports on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Make sure you go subscribe and follow, like, and share. We're at Chance and Lee's Pizzeria. I'm waiting for I'm waiting for the Chicago dog. So I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything all day. Grant, what can you tell us about March Madness as we are in March Madness right now? I know Texas lost 86-80, and now there's nothing to look for, right? Coach Flores, what do you think about March Madness?
It's such a. I mean, I enjoy it, but it's hard to keep up with it. When you have a 2-year-old son running around and you have, following your baseball game, spring break. We got 3 games a week, and it's tough. I enjoy it though. I believe the Final Four is in San Antonio, so I'm sure I'll be there somehow, somewhere.
Yeah, the Final Four is in San Antonio. What did you guys think about the Tokyo series? As the Cubs and the Los Angeles Dodgers, or should I say the Tokyo Dodgers?
It's good for baseball, right? For them over there, but I mean, anytime you get to see Ohtani come back, I mean, it's great for their fans because, believe it or not, man, the last 10 years, there's been a lot of great players come over from over there.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
just Ohtani. Those pitchers, I forgot their names, but even back in the day, Seattle, Daisuke Matsuzaka, Tanaka. There's been a lot of players come out. I mean, each year was the first one to come out, but not necessarily great for MLB. I mean, MLB is good to riding it for them, right? But MLB is a sport, and they've been playing it in Japan and Korea. They have a Japan league. There's also a league in Korea. They got one in Mexico. Pretty much everywhere. So it's great for the sport to have Ohtani go back. It's really good. And then they have, what's the name of the pitcher Dodgers got? They got 2 of them now. They sent another one this year.
Well, Oroku Sasaki had his debut. Oroku Sasaki had his debut for the Dodgers in that series. So what do you think, Coach Flores, about his debut in Tokyo in front of home crowd fans, so to speak?
I wasn't able to watch it. I just saw a little bit of highlights on ESPN, and so I wasn't able to catch any of those games up in Tokyo.
Yeah, Yamamoto, of course, Ohtani, Sasaki, true Dodger fan, as one of our YouTube followers. So, guys, and we talked about as far as understanding that the Dodgers are just we talked about it before about these astronomical kind of deals that Bobby Bonilla, of course, still getting paid, but that's what you're getting in with the Dodgers right now. They're all contracts that are going to be, till they're well in their 80s, I guess, getting paid. Anybody want to kind of talk about that particular thing?
About Bobby Bonilla?
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as the Dodgers and understanding that they have all these guys that they're paying, their contracts that are way after these guys are going to finish their careers. They're still going to get paid.
Well, I mean, it's smart, right? Because they get to win the World Series now, and if you're a Dodger fan, you're living the dream. I mean, that's what's good about it. But it's kind of not fair to, like, I don't know, I guess maybe like the Seattle Mariners or the Tampa Bay Devils. I mean, that's a team. If you look at Tampa Bay Devils the last 10 years, man, they make the playoffs and they fight hard and they find a way to win with like maybe a $58 million or $70 million. What a great team. But you look how they've lost everybody. Tyler Glass now, that McClanahan, the closer, they find a way to do it. So it's really not fair for other market teams when when you got Mookie, you got Ohtani batting first, then Mookie bats, and then Freddy. It's just not the same. You're not playing the same level. And you got the Yankees on the East. They got everybody, so it's kind of not fair, man. But I mean, look, we don't make the rules, and you can't say, "Hey, well, we're the Florida Marlins." It ain't fair. It's the MLB. You got to go get them.
Yeah, exactly. Coach, what's your take, Coach?
About the same thing, right? I mean, you think about the A's, right? When they were in Oakland, or they're still in Oakland, and then you got the Tampa Bay. I mean, those guys are like farm systems to those bigger clubs, the Red Sox, the Yankees, and those guys. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys. Yep, we'll see you guys. We just had a JV game done here at the field, but yeah, those guys. I mean, they grow them, raise them, develop them, and then somehow they end up with the Red Sox or the Yankees or the Dodgers, right? So.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of those small salary cap teams, man.
They put them in their system, they raise them up, and after their first contract, they just like an 18-year-old. They go to college and I ain't coming back. They're gone. It's
money talks, right. Baby. Money talks.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Coach, Coach Flores, who's your team in the MLB?
I just like watching good baseball, right? I mean, obviously, Houston is one of, Houston and the Rangers because we're so close.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just like watching. I love the baseball playoffs, man. I really do.
Well,
but if I can go catch an Astro game in the playoffs,
as far as the Astros is concerned, how do you see the move that the Astros did with moving Altuve to left field?
Well, he's a team player, right? I mean, they're going to say, look, man, we got another second baseman coming up. We need your bat in the lineup, right? The old saying is you hit, you don't sit.
Yeah.
So, they need him in the lineup. And, hey, there's a spot in left field. Go try it out, see if he can do it. I have seen some of his highlights, and it looks like he's making the transition. But it's not hard catching a fly ball that's tailing on you in the wind and a slice, hit ball from a left-handed bat, him playing left field. If you've been playing second base your whole life and you're playing on that side of the diamond and then you go to left field playing the opposite side, it's not easy for sure.
No, it's not. And again, with even talking about last night with the wind, being a factor in y'all's game, I think for the most part your outfielders did a good job in playing some of those balls, Coach.
Yeah, it's been windy. Shoot, I feel like it's been windy for 2-3 weeks. So we've gotten every fly ball we've taken. It's been in the wind in practice. So I mean, it was kind of the same deal last night. The wind was blowing, and we had kind of been working on it. We do a drill here off the machine where just like everybody else, we shoot them up in the air, and if you don't catch it, it's probably going to hit you. So you better catch it.
Coach, and going back to the schedule that you have and seeing Cinco Ranch winning that one at Cinco Ranch 4-3, losing to Episcopal. Was that a district game in between some of these non-district games, Coach?
No, Episcopal was that was a tournament. So
Oh,
Houston
okay, that was a
Episcopal is a
tournament game.
private
Okay,
school out of Houston.
yeah. So,
Um,
and then of
but
course you had United and you won 6-1, and then Alexander, which is a perennial, 36-8 team, and Coach Limos, you won 13-5. Can you kind of, you played 2 out of the 3, you played all 3 district foes as far as for the Eagles. Out of the 3, who do you see that's more complete in your honest opinion, Coach? I think he's trying to get something done over there. But Grant, I know that that was a 5-3 loss for the Eagles, but the one kid that really impressed me was Achilles, who plays golf, Garcia, the lefty. He came in, he did his job, he was great. We also saw Jeremiah Silva, a freshman, in the game prior, or the week prior, against Medina Valley, as their scheduled games here start up again on the 25th on Tuesday here at the Student Activity Center against LBJ, and then they're away on Friday against LBJ. So they're 2-0 in district play. I think Coach had to go do something, so he stepped off. But this series coming up against LBJ is a big series for Coach Mendoza.
Because LBJ, you think so? It's a big series?
Yeah, it is a big series because LBJ is not the same team as we've seen in the past. They have, of course, a coaching staff that has been revamped the program over at Laredo LBJ. So they also have one of the assistants is an ex-player of Coach Mendoza, Isaac Gonzalez, is over there also now. So again, you go in, if you take those 2 games and go into the Alexander series on Tuesday and Friday, 4-0. Well, guess what? There's a different mindset going into that series. Maybe split against Alexander, 1-1. Now you're at 4-1, not at 500, so to speak.
Well, here's what I do know. Coach Ray will have him ready to go. Even though Isaac did play for the Eagles, I mean, he's got to represent LBJ, right? So,
yeah,
I mean, it should be a good series. I mean, sometimes what you don't want to do, Fred, is lose the series 0-2. So the first one's always crucial because you want to get the first one in. But sometimes, it is what it is. As long as you don't want no hangover from one game to the next. So, I mean, Ray will have him ready to go, and hopefully they win game 1, because once you win 1, it's kind of like some of the pressure's off you, right? But
yeah,
you win the first one, now it's house money. And especially if you go on the road and win, then you come home, you win at home, you got the fans, you feel comfortable, they practice there all the time, makes a difference. So then they get ready for you said United, right? Will be the next one.
Yeah, for Alexander. Yeah, and then after that is United. For Coach Royce, after losing that game in Southwest and Southwest, and leading the district in District 28 5A. But I think for them, Coach or Grant, they're 3-3 in district play. If they can come out and actually, come out and get to the second round and hopefully also be 500 at the end of it, maybe they get into the 4th place spot.
True. Again, it's, even though it's district play, you got to it's the old cliche, one pitch at a time, one out at a time, one game at a time. So the thing is to have the guys focus the thing in front, and then at the end of the day, if you baseball's almost all percent mental. So you got to have the mental fortitude of being positive and know that, you got to scrap to win this one game, and then we'll live and survive. to the next one. So that's got to be the mentality of these teams that are on the bubble that want to make the playoffs. You can't, your highs can't be too high, and your lows can't be too low, so to speak.
Yeah, and for Coach Royce, he beat Harlandale 11-7. He beat Southwest Legacy 5-1. They beat McCullum 11-0. And again, that game against Southwest was a close game. It was a game that it could have gone either way, for them. And even though the stat line for the starting pitcher, the senior Pauline Delgado, it was one of those games where they did score in the second inning. They went up 1-0. They give up those 3 runs in the third, and Southwest goes up in the third. But for the pitcher, he threw 5 1/3. He gave up 7 walks, 8 hits. Those 7 walks did happen to come at a time where, again, they turn them into runs in that third inning, and then in the fourth inning, also where they scored 3 runs in the third, 3 runs in the fourth, and then after that, the Eagles, or excuse me, the Mavericks scored 3 in the fourth, 3 in the fourth, and then 1 in the fifth. So they were actually, kind of in the fourth, they were up 4-3, and then of course they went down 6-4.
Well,
And then they added 1 in the fifth. So again, both coaches doing their best to manufacture runs, because again, even for Coach Royce, he did play small ball. He did sack bunt. He moved runners over, and so did Brian McLaren, the head coach for Southwest. So you got these coaches that obviously have been coaching for years and years and know how to play small ball.
yeah. Well, the old thing, man. You got to make 3 outs every inning to go bat, and then take the field inning after you bat. But when you start walking people, you know what they say, walking leads to run. So if you keep walking people, chances are you're going to get run. It's just so hard to make 4 outs or 5 outs. And then when you have to make 3 outs to get 3 outs and go bat, and you have walks, it makes it harder, stress on the defense. The pitcher don't want to walk anybody. He just can't find it. That's part of baseball, So that's hard to overcome. It's very, 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 very difficult.
Yeah, Grant. And what kind of deals do we have at Hyundai of Del Rio, 1508 Veterans Boulevard in Del Rio, Texas? Make sure you call them up. 830-422-3900 is the number to call to talk to any of their sales professionals. Make sure you tell them Freddy sent you from Now You Know Sports. Now you know. Or you can call Grant.
Right now we have, during spring break, we have the spring break extravaganza where all our customers are getting an extra $1,000 more for the trade, $1,000 more off for their vehicle. So we have that all this week for all faculty members that belong to a school district, whether it's here in Valverde, San Felipe, or Eagle Pass, and then all law enforcement officers get extra $1,000 off. So whether you want $1,000 discount or $1,000 more for your trade, either we're doing it's always during spring break. Again, we've been selling 6-7 cars every day, just because we want to give back to the community. We do all the time, but especially this week, we want to keep people in town and spend their money here in Del Rio and not go out in San Antonio and all that. So again, it's always the right time to buy. You get more when you buy at Honda. You can see some more videos there. Look, and there he is, Mr. Deals on Wheels, just coming out there making sure. So if you're ever in the market, guy, right now's the time to buy. We're giving more for trades. I mean, it's hard to get customers the right trade for their car because there's so many dealerships and everybody wants the best deal. Well, sometimes cars have a big value and get the best deal. So we're definitely giving more for your trade because right now there's too much competition to get trade. And so you got to give more to the customer to earn their business or keep them as a customer. Otherwise, you lose them to the competitor. So we're here to give more for the trade to make it work.
We got Coach Flores back on. he had to take care of business over there with JV. Coach, how did your JV team do today?
Good. We played Lavernia. We got them 8-1. Got them 8-1
Nice.
today.
Congratulations, Coach. We were talking a little bit about of course, the games between CC Win and Southwest. Um, and before you left, you played United, you played Alexander, you played Eagle Pass. Give us your honest opinion out of those three teams. Who is, in your honest opinion, who is the better complete team?
Well, that's a hard question to answer. I mean, they're all tough teams, and I respect all three groups. I mean, looking at the schedule, when you see United, Alexander, and Eagle Pass, I mean, you're looking into three, historical good opponents, good teams that are coached really well. I would say they're all about the same. I mean, that it's going to be a tough district, and every year those three teams you see them in the mix, and I would say the same thing. I'm good friends with all those coaches, and I respect all of them, and I would say, they're very comparable with each other, to be honest with you.
Coach, looking forward to the you got a game on the 22nd, which is, I believe, is that a Saturday game, Coach?
Tell me again.
You have a game scheduled here on the 22nd. Is that a Saturday game?
Here as in Eagle Pass?
No, as in your schedule, you have a game against Sotomayor on the 22nd.
Oh, yes.
Is that a Saturday game?
That is a Saturday game, yes, sir.
Oh, wow. It's a Saturday noon game.
Yep.
Very interesting. Since I'm going to be in San Antonio on Friday, maybe you can talk to,
Yeah. Let's see if we can make something work for sure.
Where is that going to be at? Is that going to be at the north side, or the northeast? Sorry. Where is that going to be?
They're north side. They're a north side team, but that game will be at home at our place.
Oh, so it's going to be right there, right off of 410. It's going to be at your stadium right there.
Correct.
Well, I mean, we have you on, so guess what? Maybe you can give us permission to go and broadcast that game at noon. Give some extra baseball.
There you
on
go,
Saturday. Coach. After that you have St. Michael's? It looks like. Do you guys do a 3-game series in your district?
Yes, we do. We do a 3-game series. Yeah, we'll play we'll play a Tuesday, and sometimes we'll play a Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, depending on the opponent, whatever we decide. St. Michael's, we're going to play a Tuesday and a double on Friday.
Okay, you're going to play a 5 and 7, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Yes, sir. On Friday.
So in your district, you haven't started district. You're going to start district on the 25th, which is next week.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And then you got Antonian Prep after that. And then you have TMI, Episcopal. And then you finish off with
Savio, I believe.
Cornerstone Christian?
Cornerstone is a non-district game. They're not in TAP. So I believe we play St. Michael's, Antonian, Savio, St. Dominic Savio, and TMI. Okay.
Yeah, because on Max Preps, you still have some games, right? You still have some games that you haven't put on there. They haven't done the whole
on Max Prep.
Yeah, Max Prep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was looking at. So of course, you guys were state champions in TAPS last year. Mm-hmm. We did talk before the game. We did talk about the whole situation about coming back and who was there last year, and how did you see JD? And you talked a little briefly about he's your closer, but he came in, he closed the door, 1, 2, 3, struck out the 3 batters from Eagle Pass. And he showed a lot of emotion coming off that ninth inning.
Well, it was an emotional game for us, right? Me getting ejected and the guys kind of staying in it, and the atmosphere that we were in last night. It was we've been tested all year, and we've been coming back in games, and we tied a couple games late, and we came back but lost it late, and this was one of those games where we finally got over the hump and won a game that we came back, or it was a close game. And so yeah, he is an emotional pitcher, and he's been on varsity since his freshman year, and he's been our closer for the last 2 years, and he closed out the state championship game last year against a team out of Houston called Tomball Concordia Lutheran, who's good. Those TAP schools in Houston and Dallas they're no joke. They play really good baseball, and here too, here in San Antonio, the TAPs, we don't get I don't think we get enough credit here in town. But when you look at our schedule, we're playing all of them, and we're competing with all the public schools that we play, but for the reason is, once we get to the Houston, the second round, we go to Houston and we play those guys, and you're talking about St. Thomas, St. Pius, Concordia Lutheran, and then you go, face the Dallas schools like not Cornerstone, Prestonwood, and John Paul out of Plano, and Bishop Lynch. I mean, all those guys. When you look at the roster, they got Texas and A&M and Wichita State and all these big schools. We finally pulled one off last year and got our first state championship in 40 years.
Coach, how did you see the UTSA game last night? As they went into extras also, and UTSA, the Roadrunners, talking about San Antonio teams and having the respect of of course, Texas, Texas A&M, the programs, but St. Mary's, UTSA, all these Trinity, all these San Marcos, all these schools that are in not the power, the power conferences, but still they got great baseball. Baseball is different all the way around, right, Coach? I mean, baseball is a different sport. If it's easy, a lot of people would do it, right?
Right. It's one of those games where you don't have to be the biggest or the strongest or the fastest, and if you lay a bunt down with a runner on third base and you score the winning run, I mean, you don't have to hit a home run every time, right? And that's why all of us love this game, because you never know. In 7 innings or 9 innings, anything can happen. UTSA is a great program, and they beat Texas and A&M. So you never know. You never know in baseball, man.
Yeah. Grant, did you get to watch some March Madness? And not yet. You didn't catch anything. Of course, Xavier beat Texas 86-80. And March Madness begins. I don't know what the I guess they said something about the first 4 or something like that. Or I don't know how they're doing
I did research, right, like what the guys were saying.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I think is McNeese State in Texas or in Louisiana?
Louisiana.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned that like that team has moxie, and like they could go and win, and they beat a freaking ACC team. I think they beat Clemson or something. Mm-hmm. They beat it. So that's the regular 12-5 for the year of basketball. There's always a 12 that beats 5, and they pick them. And sure enough, they did. For those of you that pick brackets, you always have to go for 12-5 a couple times, and that's the one they mentioned. McNeese State could beat them. So sure enough, so the madness has begun. There's going to be upsets, but at 12-5, I'm sure there's going to probably be a 3 or 2 that will go down today, if not tomorrow. But I mean, it's the start of man, it's just crazy. Some of the things you see, shots, and then you see guys that will increase their draft status or come back for next year and say, hey, well, one more year, where that guy becomes the guy when there's a guy in front of him because he's too young. He's a freshman. So that's a good thing about them. Some of their stock will rise, and sometimes their stock will not rise, and it is what it is. But it's a good time of the year, man. Baseball, the weather's great right now. It's 78 degrees in the real, so it's not like in April 28th when it's 104. You're like, man, what am I doing out here? Coach is like, man, but it's great weather, so it's a good time, man. March Madness baseball is always good. Nothing beats football, but still, I'll take baseball and March Madness any day.
Guys, changing the subject into football. I know Coach is a big you're a big sports fanatic, Coach Flores. You can talk about anything, but what do you guys think about the free agency market and what the 49ers, letting go of most of these guys that Coach Debo Samuels to Washington, and you know, not, I think Bosa also left too. I think he's at Buffalo. So
Buffalo.
yeah, I mean
Wow.
another part for Buffalo to actually try and get over the hump of the Chiefs.
Right, right. I mean, just like any other sport, I mean, money talks, and salary caps are a real deal. And sometimes you got to give up your best player for some money to get a high draft pick, or one guy for three younger guys. I mean,
Yeah.
those guys are smart, man. They do things for a reason, and we're on the outside looking in, like, why are you guys doing that? But they got a reason why they do those things, right?
Coach, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but what do you and I don't know if it's just rumored, but of course, the college sports have the NIL now. But there was a rumor that they're trying to see even high school sports might start seeing some NIL stuff with the name, image, and likeness. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's. I mean, I wish they had it when I was playing, right? I don't know if I would have got a multi-deal like some of these high school kids are getting now, or these college kids are getting nowadays. But that's also a real deal. I mean, I've been around a lot of college players that are at big universities who are getting a couple thousand. I mean, I don't know if they're getting like 150 or 300, but I know they're getting 10, 5, 20K, which is still a lot of money for 20-year-old, 22-year-old kid.
Yeah.
But it's one of those deals where I wish it was there when we were growing up and coming up, but it's not. And good for these young men now. But it's definitely crazy. And those bigger schools, they have more money, so they're going to get the better players. And even like UTSA and in Carnivore, they're competitive. Texas State, they're competitive. But it's hard to match up with Texas or A&M or in Alabama, the Power 5 schools who are offering money and trying to pay these guys, and they are. I mean, those guys go to Carnivore for 1 year, and they're at LSU the next, or any school, any mid-major program. They're there for 1 year. Same thing like we talked about with the Rays and the Oakland, right? They're there for 1 year. You raise them, you recruit them. It's almost like you're once you get a freshman there, or JUCO transfer, you're trying to recruit him to stay. You're not even recruiting the guys who you need to go get. You're recruiting those guys to stay at your school, which it's hard to be a college coach at a mid-major program right now.
Coach, and talking about that, you got a close relationship with Coach Mendoza. You guys did coach with Lone Star as far as like an academy outside. I've known you and Nico Gonzalez and of course Adam Peña and Hector Flores. Like, we go back when my son was playing travel baseball, and that's where the whole thing where I got to meet you guys. But you have Ray Mendoza, who started at U of H, at University of Houston. He got hurt. He redshirted. He came back. He did tremendous. Now he's at Incarnate Word. Now seeing him there in San Antonio, Coach. And of course his brother went to San Marcos, went to Texas State, and now he's there pitching. There's some other kids that have gone. Jaimito from the RGV. What those guys were in that program when you started with them. But what do you see from that particular class of athletes and what they're doing now?
I mean, that was one of our best class, right? Those classes with with Ray Ray's group and with Edwards' group. I mean, you're talking about, you know, Division I guys going to Texas and A&M and Pepperdine and all these Power 5 schools where they weren't giving money back then, right? They
Yeah.
were, you know, getting scholarships and committing as sophomores and freshmen like they used to.
Yeah.
They're not doing that anymore either. But I mean, it's fun to see those guys play, man. And I still go. I go watching Carnivore. I went to school there. I played there, and you know, me and Reno go to the games and watch it. And it's fun seeing those guys compete and you know, see them grow and develop. And you know, both of those, the Mendoza brothers, man. And he's had, you know, a few good years there, and Edward's starting to come around, and Mito's having a really good year at Tarleton State right now, and
Yeah.
all those guys are doing good, and it's fun seeing those guys, you know, throughout the years, you know, coaching with them, you know, coaching them, and then coaching against them,
Yeah.
and then not just seeing them, you know, at their peak of their career, I should say, and you know, seeing them thrive.
Grant, and you know Coach Mendoza, and you know the product that he's. Your thoughts of course, another gentleman that's playing in the big leagues right now in Barrera, in Tres Barrera. Of course, he's with the Rays now. He got a ring with Washington. Now he's with the Rays. But what do you think him coming back into the league?
Look, I think it's great. Look, let me say two things. I think it's great for Coach Barrera and Tres and the family being from Eagle Pass. I think it's good for the city, right? That's good because I live in Del Rio and obviously, but I'm from Eagle Pass.
Yeah.
And you know, Jack Mayfield, he's from Del Rio, right?
Yeah.
And he went to Joe and he played for the Stros, and then he went and played for the Angels. Then he went to the Mexican League.
Yeah, he just finished his 10th in Mexican League.
The reason I know this is sick, but because I gamble, so sometimes I baseball, and sure enough, you got Jack Mayfield leading off, and this was catching. And who would think that two guys from a border town of Eagle Pass and Del Rio were playing for Tijuana, and both were in the show. And then I just saw Jack his kid plays basketball here in town.
Yeah.
He's a humble guy. So he's here. He's just a regular human being, and like some guys go up, right? But I mean, the guy was in the show when he's from Del Rio, so it is a big thing. If you're in Houston Post, you're supposed to go, right? But Pass and Del Rio, and they go to the show, it's a big deal, and we should make it a big deal. But sometimes we don't. They don't really bother. But I mean, I just thought it was pretty cool that a guy from Eagle Pass and Del Rio were playing the Mexican League. And one was the starting catcher, one was the starting shortstop, and I think they were batting. Jack was leading off, and I think this was batting 6 or 8. So that's a cool story. That and again, because I see Jack here in town. Of course, he's got one of those. I think Coach Villa has one of those clinics here.
Yeah, he got the Mayfield. He's got a training facility.
Yeah, so he wants to get back and all that. So that's good.
Coach Flores, when you see your roster, Coach, and we'll go back to your team to finish the segment here, as we're closing in on an hour here on our show. It doesn't seem like an hour, but yeah, we've been talking baseball and sports for an hour. But Jason Herrera, your shortstop, he's hitting 371 for the season. Matt McLennan is batting 344. Jason Sapp, your third baseman, he's batting 308. But you know, talking about those three guys, they. What do you see from them as their approach at the plate every time that they go up there, Coach?
Yeah, those guys are still kind of fairly young. Jason's a junior, Matt's a junior, and Jason Sapp, I don't know if you know this, he's a freshman.
Oh, wow.
And you know, those three guys are you know, 1, 2, 3 in the lineup, and you know, I've kind of mixed up. You know, Jason Herrera was our 3-hole last year. So he's been in 3-hole, 2-hole. You know, I've been hitting the lead off, and you know, Jason Sapp, the freshman, you know, he was started off in the 9, the 8, and now he's found his way with a 2-hole. But you know, we have the same approach throughout the lineup, right? We you know, we like to you know, stay on top of the baseball. We like to make things happen. Not really big on this launch angle stuff that's been going on the last few years. We're just not strong enough yet, but you know, I like to create and it's high school baseball, and you're going to see errors. You're going to see ground balls. Guys kick ground balls. Guys throw the ball away. And even in high school, I've seen it in college. You see a first baseman sometimes drop the ball that's right at their chest, And so, you mean that's the approach that we teach here in our hitters and trying to stay up the middle of the field. And, those three guys have done a great job. And, throughout the lineup, they've done a good job too as well. But those three guys have been, I would say, our top guys this year so far.
Coach, your top of lineup 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. As far as Jason, Herrera, Sapp, McLennan, Tyser, and Amezcua. They went 5. They got most of the hits. They got 5 hits for you last night in that 5-3 win. But looking at that, do you trust that these guys understand their role and what they need to do each time, their approach to hitting and there was some situational hitting last night.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's something that we preach. You're right. No matter where you're in the lineup, the game's going to kind of dictate of how you play it, right? So if you got a runner on second base, you try to get the guy over, get the guy at third base, less than 2 outs, and if we call a bunt, you're going to bunt. I mean, no matter if you're in the 3 or 4 hole, and if the situation calls for it, you're going to do it. And, that's something that we preach, and these guys, have bought in for, I've been here for 8 seasons, and so, yeah, I think they do know their role, and not just those 5 or 6 guys. I think, 1 through 9 or whoever's number is called, know what they have to do if they want to be in the lineup.
Coach, you left 9 runners on last night. You left of course runners on in the first, in the second, in the fourth, in the fifth, in the sixth. Do you think, again, leaving runners on, you're leaving opportunities to score more runs, right, Coach? I mean, it's again, it's one of those things where, especially if you get runners in scoring position.
Definitely frustrating, right? It's that's the worst thing to do when you're a coach and you're at third base and you have all these scenarios in your head and what should you do and man, if you get a blooper here or there, that's 2 runs, but sometimes that's the way baseball works, man. Baseball's it's a funny game, and you could square balls up and just hit right at them. And like Herrera, Jason's, we go first and second. We do a run and hit with the full count, and he lines out to first base. That ball's a little bit to the left or right. That's down the line, possibly 2 runs, maybe 1 for sure.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's just the way it goes, but it's frustrating as a coach when and hitting's not easy. And again, you got to remember these guys are high school kids, and their dad's talking to them, their hitting coach, myself, and them themselves, and they're all thinking at the same time. And when you throw a curveball at them on a full count or a hitter's count, and they pop it up, they're just as frustrated.
You were talking about that second inning where you had Ramos at second. He got hit by a pitch. He got to second, and then Ramos got a hit. Ramos got a single, and then a strikeout from Obi, and then Herrera lines out to the first baseman, and he got doubled up, and that ends the inning. That ends the threat.
Yeah.
So again, if it falls, it falls. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it was great. Great having you on, Coach.
Appreciate it, Fred. Yeah.
You have anything to add as we conclude this Overtime Sports Show with, of course, your guest today, Coach Matt Flores and Grant Bibb. We're at Chance and Lee's Pizzeria, 1296 Dario Boulevard. Coach, you got to come down next time and get yourself a Chicago dog. I don't know if you're able to see it, but we're gonna put exactly what I'm talking about, because it's our staple. This is where we come and meet every Thursday from 6 to 7. But Chance and Lee's at 1296 Del Boulevard, 776-7656 is the number to call. Make sure you call ahead. But man, it is the best pizza. They got a deep dish pizza. They got wings. They got calzones.
Chicken Alfredo. I had that last week. That was good.
I got everything.
Yeah, and of course the staple is the Chicago dog. It's authentic Chicago dog. Is what you right there. That's a poppy seed bun. You name it, it's there. Chance and Lee's Pizzeria. 830-776-7656 is the number to call. We want to thank everybody who's joined us today on the Overtime Sports Show. And we want to thank Coach Matt Flores for coming on with us. At such short notice, I called him up. I said, hey, you want to get on the show and talk about last night's game? We weren't going to get into the extracurricular activities that happened last night in that, in that victory.
As long as we came out with a win, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I mean, it's one of those things where everybody's human, right, Coach? I mean, we get into the game, and it was a crucial moment in the game when something happened, and it just, it is what it is, right? Grant, do you have anything to add to before we log out?
No, I just know that I don't know what happened. I just know that Coach got the whoop. I don't know what
was the first time in 8 years. First time in 8 years. I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it.
That's the first time.
If there was one place it was going to happen, it was probably going to be there.
Hey, you're asking what happened, or what happened? What did you dispute, or what did you say, or what did you not agree with that led to the hook?
Yeah, I just talked briefly about it, not too much. It was a balk call in the 7th, tie and run on third base, and
so the balk made the guy score for Eagle Pass to tie the game up. Is that what happened?
Yeah, tied the game up at the bottom of the 7th.
That's cost material.
Correct. And that's the saying, right? You got to be up 5 runs in Eagle Pass, baby.
Hey, Coach, man, great job. Listen, man, you got a great program. Continued success, man. Best of luck in the season.
Appreciate you guys.
I mean, you go as far as you can go and win another chip, whatever you got to do, man. And keep what you're doing, man.
Appreciate you guys, both of you guys, for having me.
You're pouring salt into the programs and making them sprout. And of course, Fred knows you from back then. Of course, I know Ray's kids and Edward. So you were part of them, right, to their success. And you see your product, 10 years ago, and now you can just go to your alma mater and watch a game, and you see some of the guys that you coached 10, 12 years ago. So it's got to be a pretty good feeling. Of course, you and Ray are friends too, but I mean that's what it's all about is teaching these kids and making them man, not just the program, but watching them see after that. So great job on that continued success, and best of luck on the way. Yes, sir.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
So we want to thank Coach Matt Flores of the Central Catholic Buttons, as he is on his way to, of course, getting another state championship under his belt. Great win, 5-3 last night. I want to thank Grant Bibb from Hyundai of Del Rio, 1508 Veterans Boulevard in Del Rio, Texas. 830-422-3900 is the number to call. And don't forget, we're going to be live tomorrow from Shirts, Texas, as we get
Eagles.
The Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Soccer against the Clemens Buffaloes.
Yeah, they're the get a number 10, Freddy, from Miami. They can sneak Messi in the lineup.
Right.
Somehow put a wig on him, a number 10 from Argentina.
We're gonna be shouting goal tomorrow, as we're getting set to go on a road trip. Make sure Hyundai of Del Rio, our roadie road trip, guys. So I'm gonna go pick up my car as I leave my car there for service, and then I can take the other car.
We got it. We're here to support the Eagles.
We're in for that. Thank you guys for joining us on another edition of the Overtime Sports Show with your guest Freddy there. We want to thank our producer, Mr. Ruben Camarillo. Don't forget,
next producer, Ruben, next show. Thank you, Ruben.
I don't think he hears you because he's over there.
I can hear you, Grant. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for coming on the show like always. You've been great.
Now you know, Ruben.
You know, baby.
Thank you for joining us on another edition of the Overtime Sports Show. Now you know sports. Now you know. Thank you once again. Till next time. Keep talking sports.